Just trying to get this thing oriented over here. Oh, you're waiting? Okay, we'll keep waiting. Not sure what you're waiting for. It says it's live. Super delayed by a million miles. Sure what you're waiting for. Wake up! It says it's live. Super delayed by a million miles. No, it's just going to be super delayed. Nothing I can do about it. Okay. Well, that's good times. Jeez. Oh, look who made it. The Beast. You being a good girl, or you being a particularly troublesome beast? No, don't answer that. Where you go, Wayne Gretzky? Oh, wow. Well, I guess it's Sunday again. Thought about calling this this episode the Wind Edition. The wind's just been blowing. Had like a half a week of just howling wind out of the south, and then like not quite a half a week of just wind screaming out of like the northwest, I guess it would have been. 40 miles an hour? Yeah. And then one day of calm, which was nice. You gotta appreciate the calm days. Oh man, so yeah, is it? Are we entering World War next? I don't even know what's happening right now, kids. I mean, I guess all I can say is thank God the adults are in charge, because for a while there we had someone who didn't know what they were doing in charge, and we had no wars, and now we got adults in charge, and now we just have wars everywhere. Oh, weird. Huh? That's weird. Huh. Strange. That's a strange phenomenon. You know, that's above my pay grade. I don't understand it all. I'm sure there's a smart person that knows more about that than me, but it just seems real strange. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's almost like, and I'm not saying it is this way, I'm saying it's almost like there's either profit in it or reasoning behind it. What did I hear someone say the other day? They've seen more footage in the last 2 days of the war in the Middle East than they've seen in the last, 2 years of the war in Ukraine? Well, weird. I wonder, well, that's weird. I wonder why that is. I wonder why there's more, whatever. No comment. Any whoosies. Let's make some pancakes. Ooh, look at that. I cleaned the maple syrup container, which was so far beyond. It was so in need of being cleaned that I started to not show it in the video. I would hide the dribble because it was turning into a let's see. It'd be a stalactite because it's hanging tight. That's how, if you ever wanted to remember how to memorize the difference between a stalactite. Oh yeah, sorry about my finger. Aced my finger out, put a Band-Aid on it, got wet, and just got, what is that, swamp finger? It's drying out. I was going to cover that up too, and I forgot, and I've already filmed it, so no. You can just see my finger was... It was a waterproof Band-Aid, right? I put one of them fancy waterproof Band-Aids that when you open them up, it's got the little thing around the outside edge to keep it stabilized when you put it on there. Yeah, and then it leaked, and then it just held the water in. It's like, is that a waterproof Band-Aid? The Middle East is popping off. Well, so, I mean, is it? Is it? Or is the Middle East just got better press? I'm not sure what's happening there. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, so that's good times. I wish no ill on anybody. I truly don't. I mean, to sound, contrary and to sound, you know, against the grain, it's like, are we going to have enough money to send the 600 billion to Ukraine? And then, I mean, I don't know about you, but is Ukraine as important as the Middle East region? I can only assume, for reasons I don't even understand, that somehow magically the part of planet Earth known as the Middle East and the people that live in a certain section of that are far more important than Ukraine. So how much are we going to send there? 100 bajillion? How many? How many bajillions? Okay. I'm probably getting in trouble. I'm not saying anything about anybody. I'm just saying. Like, there's already, like, because we absolutely live in clown world, right? Like, there's no denying that. 100%. So, like, the memes are already coming out. Like, there's people literally dying, and there's people making fun of it on the internet. And I'm seeing it. It's like pictures of, like, the president of Ukraine sitting there all mad because he just heard that they're sending money over the Middle East. He's like, well, I should have got that money, like, like, whatever. Oh, is his wife gonna have nice enough jewelry? Like, oh god. All right, let's make some pancakes here. 1 cup doesn't seem like enough pancake mix. Let's do 2 cups of pancake mix. I mean, I've also been told that, like, in any conflict anywhere, that I must take a side, right? I've been told that, like, I have to be on one side or the other. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I don't have to be on... Do I have to? Like, how come I have to pick a side? Like, and what makes you think there's only 2 sides? That's the other thing. Like, as I get more gray in my beard, I realize that quite often, things you think are two-sided, in fact, either are one-sided or multi-sided. Also known as multifaceted. And it just makes you wonder sometimes. Like, why did I get the 1 cup out when I'm going to need 1 1/3 cups of water? Hold, please. Measure once. So I'm not sure if which side I'm going to be taking on any of these current and upcoming conflicts. I think I'm going to go with... What is it when you pick nothing and everything at the same time? I'm not sure what that is. I'm sure there's a term for that. What is it? 1 1/3? Yeah. So apparently, also, this came from last week's stream, which kind of got screwed up. And I talked about this a little bit, which goes into the whole, pick a side. We're just reducing everything to the dumbest person in the room, apparently. So when I go to do my live stream now, it auto puts it in vertical. It auto does that, no matter if I change it or not. Because apparently, the people that are in charge of this particular website must have got enough complaints from what can I only assume is stupid people. Because the stupid people wanted to film their their short or their TikTok. I don't even understand how the world works. But they all want to do it vertically. And they're like, well, we should just default to the stupid person position because it's less work if we just go with what the dummies want rather than what the smart people want, or the educated, I should say, or the understanding. Because everybody understands that when you film a piece of something, you should film it in the horizontal to maximize the screen size for the ultimate, viewing experience. But because people are dumb and they don't spend 5 minutes learning about something like how to film correctly or the fundamentals of, screen dynamics and screen filling, they just pull their device out of their pocket, go, "Ugh!" And it just happens to fit your palm, your mitt, in a vertical position, right? So it's just like the default dum-dum mode is vertical. So, okay, unless it's a short, do you know why? Okay, here we go. Do you know why shorts are filmed in vertical? It's because people are too stupid. Like, you have to understand that, dude. It's like, well, we can't. If they just pull out their bucket, it'll be vertical. Just make the format vertical. It'll be amazing. It'll be vertical. It's like, is your current television oriented vertically? Is your tab? I mean, I guess your tablet you could orient vertical, but like, oh, I want a vertical. It's like, you got to realize it's just the lowest common denominator. It's not because there was this great artistic technological advancement in like, oh, you know what we could do? We could just orient everything vertically, and then you could just hold it in your hand vertically and enjoy it vertically. Like, no, no, no. That's not what. Like, if that's what you think, not yet. Yeah, no, no, no. Now the reason, and because they did that, it's genius. Because all the dim-witted individuals who don't understand simple principles like that. I want my it fits my palm. It's easy. Like, oh my god. I'm making payments on my handheld device and I hold vertical. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, yeah. No, I just oriented all mine vertical. I just watch TikToks all day. It's just like, okay. I mean, I don't expect everyone to like, take a course on cinematography, but like, you could watch a 30-second video of how to properly, like, I don't know, pan, hold. It's not that complex. I mean, it should be required, like how to write a check. They used to do that, and how to like address an envelope. So that they don't do those things anymore. So there should be time in the curriculum of the young folks to take how to film something properly and how to operate a camera in a way that won't cause you to want to puke in a bucket. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh yeah. Well. But anyways, the live streams are defaulted to vertical. And even if you go and say, no, I like horizontal, and it's been horizontal forever, and now it's just like airtime, it's just, oh, you're going to want to do that vertical, aren't you? You don't want you want to shoot that vertical? Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not going to want to do that. No, I'm not going to want to do that, bud. Sorry. Nice try. Whatever. Anyways. Oh, man, I got some stories this week. God. So we had a little rain in my area, and because of the rain, I have this condition in my front of my yard known as a unfinished dirt pile, and unfinished dirt piles tend to wash away in rain. So like, washed away a little bit. I had the meeting months ago about, you might want to do my grading correctly. Like, we agree. We all agree. The construction company agrees, the city agrees, the engineering department agrees, and the homeowner all agrees we got to do more work. And then they never did it. They never did it. And then they lied about who said not to do it. All the lies, so like, give us some more time. Okay. And then like, all of a sudden they're putting grass seed in my yard, and they're watering my yard, they're fertilizing my yard. I'm like, well, you haven't done the work yet. Oh, what are you talking about? So we had the other meeting, and the head honcho come out, and he basically told me that I'm an idiot and I should fuck myself, basically. And then, two of the witnesses from the original meeting of the four of us that were there, sorry, three witnesses, myself, city lady, engineering guy, and the construction company obviously didn't show up because they don't give a shit anymore. And when I convinced them to not be lying sacks of shit and tell the truth, that we all agreed to this shit, they finally, I guess if we all agreed, we should do what we agreed to, so we will do the work that we promised we would do months ago. Then they got their spray paint out, and they spray painted, and they said, don't call back until the first of the month. And I said, okay, I won't call back. First of the month comes like, hey, they haven't done the work yet, you idiots. We're going to work on that. Well, they still hadn't done it, and then the rain came, and then it washed the gullies out. So like when I called back at the first of the month, it's like, oh, hey, we had some rain, and like the rain washed the dirt away, and like you've been out with skid loader scooting the dirt off the street, but it's exposed all this rock. All this endless, never-ending rock in my yard. And the dude from the city, who's the head guy, the dude what I call the city manager, who the city manager calls, I'm talking to that guy, because he didn't like to get called by the city manager. Anyways, he's like, oh, great, the aggregate's exposed, that we can clean it all up. That's going to be amazing. Lucky for you. And I'm thinking, well, I mean, in a roundabout way, yeah, but like it shouldn't be there. I've been telling you, you dim-witted vertical filming TikTok watchers, that there's shit buried in my yard and you need to get it the fuck out of there. And you're like, oh no, it's buried, it's fine. Well, it's all exposed now. And he's like, oh yay, celebration time. Your rock pile's been exposed. And I'm like, well, I guess, technically, I guess we can get the rock out of there. Let's do that. Well then, next thing I know, the next day, the construction company's there putting dirt on top of the rocks. They're burying the rocks again. And I call them, I'm like, dude, why are they burying the rocks? Oh, they're filling the ruts. Yeah, but take the rocks out first. And this dude actually told me, well, if you have a rock this big in a rut in your yard and they put topsoil over it, that's okay. See, it's not on the surface anymore. And I'm like, I'm trying not to cuss the guy, but I'm like, you got to be the dumbest motherfucker that ever got the opportunity to earn a paycheck to buy food in the history of the world. You're too dumb to even, like, well, that's not trash. And I was like, well, then what would be the definition of trash? I said, would concrete be trash? Oh, yeah, concrete would be trash. Well, this guy's so stupid. He doesn't know the rocks that are supposed to be in my yard from the construction project should be concrete because I use crushed concrete aggregate as a sub-base, and that's considered acceptable to a certain size per the contract in the yards. But this dipshit just told me that that's not acceptable. Rocks are, but not concrete. I'm just like, dude. I said, I don't think you're qualified to be in charge of this shit. I guess I'm just gonna have to go above you. Oh, I'll call you back. Oh, don't, please. Because the city manager must have said, if I have to call you again, you're gonna fucking get fired. I have no idea. But yeah, oh, I'll call you back. Never called me back. But did someone come to my yard and they kicked around my yard? They literally pulled a piece of concrete out this big, size of cantaloupe. That just came out of the surface of my yard after it's had the seed prep, the fertilizer, and that's just like. And I'm just like, what the shit? And then it turns out someone magically, I don't know how, hit my mailbox, but didn't hit it in a way where like how do I describe it? We got a mailbox. You got the flip down front. You got the handle. Well, they hit my mailbox in a way that didn't crush my handle, but put a crease in my mailbox about that wide, and then knocked the whole thing loose and bent the thing, so my mailbox is destroyed now. And I'm like, I wonder who's been in my yard in the last couple of days. Could it be the fucking construction company? So these petty motherfuckers have destroyed my mailbox. It looks like they used a shovel and just spiked the living shit out of my mailbox. But like the whole thing's loose and it doesn't. I'm just like, oh god, great, fantastic. Not only do I have dipshits burying rocks in my yard, they're destroying my yard or my mailbox via, like, I don't even know what they did. I have no idea. But it's like, yep, no. Yeah, that's how that's working out. That's working out grandiosis right there. So then they came out to remove the rock, because I also got a phone call, and the dude brings a leaf rake, and when I say a leaf rake, do you know what I mean by a leaf rake? The kind that have the flexi fingers. Yep, they're trying to rake rock, and when some of these rocks, and you'll see the videos, I'm gonna post them, as wide as my palm, from there to there, rocks that big with a leaf rake. I got a leaf rake out. It's like, what? They getting paid by the attempt, or like I don't even understand how, like, a leaf rake, like. How would you rake rocks with a leaf rake? I don't even, like, how would you? And then they put seeds. Then they put grass seed on the dirt they filled in the washout in the yard that they haven't graded yet. I'm not even making this up. Because like I called the engineering guys, like, like I saw him out there. Oh, we can't do that yet. We gotta wait till after the rains or whatever. So like everybody understands that they haven't graded yet. They know that. Everybody understands this. But yet they're still putting dirt in the washout and then adding grass seed. But they're not watering my yard because of the fact it has to be regraded. But everybody else's yard, they came out every day and watered. Because, like, why would you, I mean, that's the one thing I'll give them credit for. Why would you water a yard you're going to regrade? But yet, why would you reseed a yard that you're going to regrade that you haven't watered? So right now, I don't have, it's like, we don't have scorpion trouble. Gee whiz. Oh, God. Oh, those rocks are acceptable. And I finally asked the guy, I was like, you don't even know what you're doing, do you? I was like, you don't even know what the contract says about acceptable aggregate in the yard, do you? Because I've been told an inch and a half. I've been told 2 inches. I've been told 3 inches. I've been told 3-inch rock's acceptable. And then I pull a 4-inch rock out. I say, what about this one? And they go, Because saying 4-inch rock's acceptable, that's a little too far. You know, that's a little bit too far for someone to accept. And a 4-inch rock's okay. But a 3-inch, that's fine. But when you pull a 4-inch, shit, I pulled a 12-inch out a week ago. A 12-inch boulder, this big. A giant concrete boulder out of my front yard. At the surface. I'm not out there digging for shit. It's like, what's this thing? Kick. Giant concrete boulder. It's like, holy shit. Oh, that's not trash. That's not trash. Oh, the guy's like, there's rocks in the dirt. I was like, dude, you don't even know where you live, do you? You live in the Los Hills. one of two spots on planet Earth with a very distinct soil type. And the one thing the soil type has in this area is no rocks. There's no rock, dude. If I could give you $100,000 per rock in this part of the country, and I wouldn't have to worry about giving away any money. Because there isn't any. None. Zero. Doesn't exist. Like, Jesus Christ. Hey, why don't you film that in vertical, bud? That's for TikTok. It's like, oh, God, dude. Like, part of me thinks I'm glad I'm about halfway through my life because I couldn't imagine what it's going to be like not too far in the future, because the dipshittery is getting to the point that even the people that don't think they're dipshits are such dipshits that I don't even know what the dipshits do. I don't even know how the dipshits even, like, breathe anymore. Like the truly dumb people. How do they even do? Like, what? I don't even know. Good luck. It's just like, oh, Jesus Christ. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. 2 more weeks, you're gonna love it. Well, that seems like it's going the wrong way. Whatever. I'm getting upset. I don't like to be upset. Independent Elveshelves is getting upset. My oil is leaking off the wrong part of the pancake, and I'm not getting my frizzle frazzle like I want. I want a fried edge. I was talking to somebody the other day about my fried edge pancakes, and they were like, I don't like crispy pancakes. And I was like, Jesus. Okay. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't like that. And I was like, oh, more for me than I guess. Sorry. Because I was like, I've never met a person who enjoyed pancakes that didn't have a fried edge pancake and be like, Jesus, that's the greatest pancake I ever had in my life. I've literally never met anybody like that until just the other day. Okay. Now that I've ranted about how great things are going. Jesus Christ. Trust me, there's like about 100 trillion other things that I could talk about that I'm not going to. Just because I don't think it's a good idea. Whatever. Where's my butter? I'm going to want some butter here in a second. Okay. So that's good times. We almost had a freeze the other day. That was fun. Almost had our first freeze of the year. But luckily, we avoided it. Luckily! I don't even know why I say luckily. Oh, man. Should we talk now that I've ranted, should we talk about World War next? Someone on the internet was like, I wonder if they're ever gonna be able to figure out if any of the weapons that were used were purchased from the Ukraine. I wonder if that's gonna come out. Like, I did read a thing that said because like apparently it was a pretty big surprise. Like the people that should know that something like that's going to happen had no idea. I was like, oh man, we didn't know. Like, and they're just flabbergasted. Like, oh, how did we not know? And then when like I was reading this little thing online, it's like, oh yeah, it turns out they didn't use the smartphones and computers that are commonly available to the general public. That's how they didn't find out. It's like, oh god. Apparently they were using devices made in China by Chinese companies like Hawaii or Hawaii or whatever. And apparently that cell phone and tablet and computer company doesn't have agreements with the people in charge of the government to let everybody have free access to everything. Kind of weird. Did you see the dude flew over on like a ultralight, like a. That's crazy, dude. I mean, I haven't been paying that much attention to the whole thing. I just like, you know, when you're just when you're alive on planet Earth and you're have the ability to be aware of like just like the basic things that are going on around you, it's kind of hard to miss some of that stuff. But I don't know, whatever. I'm sure whatever it ends up being will be the end of all that, right? There won't be more of that over there. No syrup? Like, dude, are you watching this stream? Are you? It's not just no syrup. It's 100% pure maple syrup from Vermont, dude. Do you see the syrup left over on the? Come on now. Are you watching this in vertical? Come on now. Oh god. So yeah, there I was. There I was, just yeah. I don't go overboard on syrup because like a bottle of syrup like this is like I don't know $25 or some insane shit. I mean, if you want corn syrup, you can get that for I don't know less than $25. But if you want actual maple syrup, you got to take a goddamn loan out. So yeah, I've had to cut back on my syrup application. Therefore, yeah, no, it's good till 24. I think I have another bottle on hand. I tend to keep my eyes peeled for the syrup sales because due to the fact that it's like one of the most expensive things besides like I don't know steaks. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that I purchased. I don't eat steak anymore because you know I'm not a Rockefeller. All right, here we go. Let's get it all in there. We got the butter. Check. Let's put some butter on this. Sometimes I eat my leftover pancakes with nothing. I eat them dry. Because when this is done, there'll be a stack of pancakes laying here on the counter, and then I'll just walk by and be like, oh, pancake. I'll just grab it and eat it like a cookie. Hear ye! The application of the syrup will commence shortly. Gather around, gather around. The syrup will be applied shortly. Application commence. Easy, easy, easy. Not too much. Perfect. Oh, it's spilling. Get it back up there. Don't get it on the plate. Oh, God. Whatever. Hear ye, hear ye. Oh, my God, I have to do it again. So, because I spent a lot of time just on the internet reading funny shit and all that. I give a shout out to one of my more favorite YouTubers. I don't watch this guy religiously, but like, he's got good content and like, he's on the right wavelength, right? But like, the wavelength he's on is the wavelength that gets you eventually removed. Because it's the kind of wavelength that like you're not supposed to like say out loud, whatever. And he started like kind of going that direction with his stuff. And like he kind of realized like, like I can't keep doing this shit or they're gonna kick my ass off. So then he started being like, well, I'm doing some of this as parody. Like I'm joking, right? Which is a pretty baller move, you know. I hope it's a little less thick. Oh, that's not a good idea. So like his parody would be like, do a video in the form of what not to do, right? Like whatever you do, don't use a handheld lighter when igniting combustibles near, let's say, a coffee machine with newspapers and, let's say, a bag of potato chips, because that'll light a fire and burn your house down that can never be traced, because I have a friend who's a fire arson specialist. He'll say shit like that. Essentially telling you how to arson something down without ever being traced. Like, you don't, like, he's like, He's like, don't ever do this because there won't be any evidence left behind, like shit like that. Like the other day it was, don't forget to put your rubber gloves on when you're loading bullets into a magazine because you don't want that bullet oil on your hands. Like that's bad shit. You don't want any of that bullet oil to touch your fingertips. So you definitely put your gloves on because they put oil on the outside of those the casings, and you don't want your fingers getting that oil on there. I'm just like, I'm dying laughing because the guy's so goddamn funny. Like he had to remove some videos because they're like, that's like, you know, you're inciting or whatever type of shit. And he's like, oh no, these are what not to do videos, you know. And like the other day there was like, whatever you do, keep your eyes peeled for people going to electric car charging stations and stealing the charging cables because that's hundreds of dollars worth of copper right there. I was like, holy shit, people are stealing the charging cables from the charging stations because it's just giant pieces of huge high gauge copper. Yeah. Those wires aren't energized until you start charging. They just go up, take bolt cutters, doop, and then they have, you know, a bunch of copper. Because we all know the guy at the copper recycling center is like, he's real concerned about where your copper comes from. That guy gives no shits. Oh, I'm sure he signed a piece of paper that says if it's suspect, we'll let you know. But like, in reality, he's buying low and selling high. Like, oh god. Whatever you do. Alright. Syrup. Gather around. Whoop, 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 whoop. Syrup alarm. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Peel your lids back. Syrup's going on. Add syrup. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whatever you do, don't do this. I'm like, oh god, it's too funny. I don't recommend anybody doing any of that shit that I just said. For good or bad. Like a public service announcement. your jelly bean dispenser, that's what he also calls his jelly bean dispenser. It's Wrangle Star, by the way, if you don't know that. I mean, I generally don't say to myself, man, I wish I could live like that, but that dude, he's got it figured out. Oh well. Did I make coffee yet? Oh, here it is. Where's my coffee? Lost my brain. Ooh, that coffee's ice cold! Get some of this lube back up here. The lube launched off. Pancake lube. Now, whatever you do, you don't want that bullet oil on your skin. And for those that film vertically, that's because if you touch a bullet, your fingerprints go on the casing. In case you didn't realize what that guy was actually saying, because I know a lot of people film in vertical and it's challenging and it's hard and it gets confusing, but yeah, that's what that was all about, literally. Because sometimes, unless you're shooting a revolver, the casings end up on the ground, and sometimes when you're doing something that like, yeah, sometimes you just don't want those casings on the ground. I guess is the best way to describe that, I guess. You know, littering, you don't want to litter. Let's do some silver dollars. I like those. Just little pocket size. Whoops! Oh, that's my favorite, is when it goes right there. Is my finger ever going to dry out? Yeah, I hit with the impact driver again. That's fun. So my impact driver fell the other day, quite farther than I would ever hope to have my impact driver fall, and it must have landed on the bit holder. Now my bit holder goes ring, 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 ring. So I'm trying to use it. It's like and everything's shaking and it keeps falling off. I spike myself there. I spike myself there. It's just like, oh yeah, great. Whatever. Oh! You slippery little... Oh, it got a little burned. Too much heat applied. I'm going to start reserving some of these on a plate less filled with syrup for later snackage. Quite a few pews. That's funny. That's for safety. It's bad for your ears. In case you didn't know that. It's all about safety, my friends. And anyone that's not looking out for your safety when it comes to personal protective equipment they're just not looking out for your best interest. You should do everything in the most safest manner possible. I feel like either my house is settling or my stove is shifted because my oil is going the wrong goddamn way. Probably a little of everything there. So when the wind was blowing like, oh, I don't know, 100 bajillion miles an hour, those days I had to go help somebody with some stuff on a, what would you call it? I went to help somebody at a rental property with a water heater issue. So anyways, took care of that. And of course, you got to fill the water heater up, and then you have to like run the tap or whatever, let the water run out so it fills the water heater, because you don't want to start a water heater empty, kids. And like the water heater is located directly below the kitchen sink. No big deal. And it's an older house, and kitchen sinks tend to have kitchen sink issues over the years, so like whatever. You kind of look up, it's like, yep, there's the kitchen sink, definitely right there. You can definitely tell that because you can see the work's been done there, and like the floor is kind of messed up or whatever. Blah 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 blah. So go to fill the water heater up. First thing you can get to is the kitchen sink because it's the closest. You turn that on, like, yep, filling up. All right, the air bubbles are out. Everything's good. Like, all right. We're like slight little delay, and I'm down there like getting ready to clean up everything and get ready to go, and all of a sudden I hear like drip, drip, drip. It's like, oh shit, we got a leak. Like, it happens. Sometimes you don't get something screwed together quite tight enough, or whatever this shit is, the problem, blah blah blah. You just gotta like, where's the leak? And you're looking, it's like, well, everything I just worked on is not dripping. Like, that didn't make any sense. Like, where the hell is this? Oh, nice dog. You just sat in the water bowl. Oh, good girl. Okay, well, you're fine over there. It's like drip, drip. It's like, what is going on? It's like, well, it's leaking through where the water feed goes through the floor to the kitchen sink. It's like, oh god, kitchen sink? Like, what? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like didn't wiggle that line, didn't do anything. Like, why is that? And you go up. It's like, what the hell is going on? Is the water lines leaking? No, the water lines aren't leaking. It's like, oh no, it's not the water lines, it's like the drain. Like, oh god. Turns out, garbage disposal. Just, I don't know if it was the original or the second or the third or whatever, but like most things made of metal, give them enough time, enough moisture, they'll fail. So the garbage disposal had a leak in it. It's like, oh, that sucks. Gonna have to get a new garbage disposal. Whatever. Not doing that today. And I'm talking with the guy that I'm assisting, and I was like, well, did you mention to anybody upstairs that the garbage disposal is leaking, and to perhaps not use that side of the sink or that sink at all? Because just because the hot water's been out doesn't mean the cold water's been out. And generally in life, you would wash your hands and use water, and that's not a big deal. What age am I? That's a good question. I'm in my 40s. How's that sound? So I walk upstairs to like say, oh, hey, by the way, don't use the side of the sink with the garbage disposal because it's got a hole in it, and all the water eventually just starts leaking out into the cabinet, and through the cabinet, through the floor, into the basement, because I just saw all that, right? And the people that live in the house are what I would call elderly. They're elderly people now. Imagine that. Happens to the best of us. And their son lives with them, which is fine. And it kind of seems like maybe he's kind of the guy who's got to be in charge of the goings on at the house. And it kind of seems as though maybe he's not up to, like, maybe he films a vertical. Does that make sense? Anywho's, uh, the old lady hobbles out, and I'm like, yeah, don't use the sink. There's a hole in the garbage disposal. We're going to have to get you a new one of those. So we'll come back tomorrow. And she goes, what? The garbage disposal's leaking? No. And she walks over to the sink and turns the water on, right? Because she doesn't believe me. I'm not even making this up. And the son's like, Mom, no. And she starts running the water. And it's like, yeah, no, that's definitely going to be leaking. And you just refilled it all because garbage disposals are weird. It's a big thing. And then the pipe comes out and goes to the P trap and blah, blah, blah. And the water meets a level and all that. But like, because there's a hole in it, a lot more comes out after you shut the water off. There's a delay, you know? Oh, wait. You sound like you're in 20s. From India. All right, India. Or, hold on, India or Bharat. Is that right? Am I saying that right? It's now known as Bharat? Is that true? I just read a thing about how you guys changed your name for certain like diplomatic situations to Bharat. I think Bharat. Is that sound right? I'm probably saying it wrong. Anywho's. So like, this poor guy, he literally face palmed himself. He just slapped himself in the palm as his mother ran the sink so more water would leak out. And then so like turns out this here this here leak isn't something that started in the last couple of days. That's been leaking for a while, but like nobody noticed that. It's like, dude, like you just got to say something. Like if it's leaking, just say something. You know, it's in no one's benefit not to say anything. Like it's like, hey, wait a second, did you call and say your sink was leaking? Now I'm mad at you. It's like no, that's gonna be fixed, man. You gotta get that fixed. You can't just leave that not fixed. Whatever. That's all fixed now. But because of all that, right, there was a water heater that had to be dealt with because you can't just throw a water heater in the creek. And I just happened to have a water heater in my basement from I don't know how many years ago because I was just like, I ain't calling that shit out. I hauled the one down, I ain't hauling it out. So I just had a dead water heater in my sink in my basement for years, right? Just years. I mean years. Just like put it in the corner, like, oh, that's a nice shelf. The old water heater shelf. I had one of those going. So I was like, well, I guess we're gonna have to go do some recycling. So it's like recycle day. So I got to go out to and if you've never been, it's pretty fun. The recycling scrap iron place where like you take your metal and they just like grind it up and sell it. Oh, I love going there. It's so much fun. They got these giant machines with huge magnets. The magnet's as big as this stovetop. And like you got your pickup truck full of stuff. Eventually, if you figure out where to park your vehicle, because it's always a mystery, they just use this magnet. They pick everything out, and then like the guy swings the thing. It's on like a excavator, like a boom, a swivel boom. And pick your stuff up, and then he'll release the magnet, electromagnet, and just boom, your shit just goes flying. Boo! It's so cool. I should have videotaped it. Like I was literally watching it. It's like, dude, I should be videotaping this shit because it's like fascinating. But the craziest thing, dude, and like I don't know how the world works exactly, but I got a good idea. But anyways, as we were pulling in, they had a giant like payloader, which is like a giant swivel center, 4-foot tire, big machine with forks on the front. And they were moving a flatbed tractor trailer, like for an 18-wheeler, a flatbed. And I'm looking at this thing, and in my estimation, as I look at this trailer, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a perfectly good used trailer. Like, it's not brand new, but like, it didn't look like it had been hit, didn't look bent, didn't look beat up. It just looked like a trailer that wasn't brand new. And the dude drove it over, and he threw that thing into a pile, and then a dude came with pinchers and just started chopping it up. I'm like, dude, what is happening? Like, that trailer had to have been worth thousands and thousands of dollars. But for reasons that I can't comprehend, it was at the metal recycling plant getting destroyed. Now, I'm just trying to play the scenarios out in my head. Like, why would that be? Like, what would be a scenario? Like, hey, your trailer's been parked in my lot too long. If you don't get it out of here, we're gonna tow it type of deal. Like that's only like, we're like, you know, I can't sell your trailer you left in my lot because I don't have the title to it. But I could definitely take it to the recycling center and have it chopped up and get $50 or whatever. It's just like, whoa. Like, it had tires on it. I mean, it was like, you could have hooked that thing up and hauled anything in the world. It was a big boy. The ones that have the arch in it and all that. Like, it was like, what is happening? Oh, we'll do a big one. Yeah, I was just like, what? I couldn't believe it. Now, it's possible there was something wrong with it that wasn't obvious to my visual inspection from 40 feet away, but like, I don't know. I was shocked. But then I always have to realize, like, there's stuff that happens for no good reason constantly on planet Earth. Like, constantly. Like, things that you would think, like, yeah, I know, whatever. It just seemed exceedingly wasteful for that thing to be being chopped to pieces. Like, the rims alone were still good on it. Like, the tires were still good. It still had, like, it wasn't like it was like, oh, that's been sitting in the field for 80 years and there's weeds growing out of it. It looked like it was drove there. But I know people just do shit. Like, well, I had like a relative that was left a car, you know, was willed a car, and they just never did anything with it. And then one day it was like, that car's got to go. Like, you can do whatever you want with that car, but it's got to go. And they were like, well, I don't have time to deal with it. So they just took it and got scrap metal for it. After that car's sitting, being saved for like 50 years. There was people that wanted to buy the car. And the relative of mine was just like, nah, I got time to deal with it. We just scrap it. And it's like, well, it's not my car, you know. Even though I guess technically the car was given to me. And then it was ungiven to me. But I know when to bitch about shit and when not to bitch about shit. And an old shitty car is not something you bitch about when it comes to family member stuff. You just say, oh, I guess that's fine with me. I'm not gonna get my panties in a bunch over it. Oh well. Oh well. Take that thing to the scrapyard, get scrap value. So the guy I was helping, he had amassed a collection of broken items too, because like apparently, I mean, I don't know how it works in life, but apparently they don't make anything quite as good as they used to. I mean, I must be blessed. Like, all the appliances in my house were purchased in like the late 80s, early 90s, which I believe is the absolute peak of appliance technology as far as quality. And like, I'm gonna say it out loud, and all my shit's gonna break, but like, my shit don't break. Like, the stove I had in here still works. I still own the old stove. It's just it had the coils, and they're like a pain in the ass to clean. And this stove was available to me, so I use this stove. But like the dishwasher, same dishwasher I've always had. Microwave, same microwave I've always had. The hood still working. All that's still working. Everything's still working. But man, the guy I was helping, I swear to God, they buy a new appliance like every couple of years. They had a refrigerator where like the compressor had a leak and all the refrigerant leaked out. And it's like, oh, they just need to have that like fixed. And they called the dude to fix it. And he's like, yeah, no, we can fix it, but like, we can't fix it here because our insurance won't allow us to do brazing on site because we could burn your house down. So we got to haul it out of your house, haul it down to the shop, find the leak, fix the leak, recharge it with refrigerant, then load it up, haul it back. And it's like, oh, okay, well, what's that going to cost? And then the price was given. It's like, oh, no, we're just going to throw that away and buy a new one. Because it was like, why would you spend that kind of money to fix something so simple, but so expensive to fix? Like, because most of it was in the labor of like the moving and it's just like, what? So they just said, screw it. And they just threw that one in the trash and got another one. Like the old, like you ever seen somebody with like an old beer fridge, like with the old like handle, like, dude, those things will last literally forever, 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 ever, forever, ever. Whatever. I mean, the refrigerator I have in my kitchen was purchased in the '90s, and it is the lamest refrigerator. It's just a pure white refrigerator. It does have ice maker. No bells, no whistles. Doesn't even have a light in the deep freeze. And unfortunately for me, that refrigerator will probably last forever, and I'll never have to like, oh, I guess I'll have to get a new fridge. And I know you say, well, if you want a new fridge, just get a new fridge. Well, that's not how I don't work that way. Like, I don't say to myself, self, why don't you buy a new version of something that you have that functionally works fine, just for the aesthetics? Because we all know my kitchen is a fashion statement. Like, get the front door out of here. Whatever. I mean, I've got a spare fridge. So here's the tricky part. My spare fridge has a light in the freezer, which is an upgrade over the fridge I have in my kitchen. But it doesn't have automatic ice maker. So it's like, oh, it's got the light, but not the ice maker. Like, and I think you can add the ice maker, but like, whatever. I mean, technically, I have another spare fridge too. It's probably the nicest fridge I own because it has water in the door and ice in the door. But the people I got it from, when they moved it, they took the drawers out for the fruit drawer and the crisper drawer. You know, those plastic drawers that are very specific to the refrigerator. They took those out and they lost them, right? Oops. Oopsie. Lost the drawers. It's like, what? What? You lost the drawer. How does one lose a refrigerator drawer? You know what I mean? Like, what's this? Oh, I'll just throw that shit away. I don't know what that is. Like, dude, it says crisper on it. Like, what? You lost it? Yeah, they lost it when it was moved. So I was like, well, I'll just buy some new ones. Well, until I found out what new ones cost. It's like, well, no, I'm not going to buy new ones. Because, like, well, you could buy a whole refrigerator, or you could buy 2 plastic bins for a refrigerator from the '90s. It's like, oh my God, dude, are you kidding me? Like, I should look into that again. Because, like, sometimes prices changes. But, like, no, like, it was crazy. So, like, what I've been doing, I've been kind of watching, like, the old Craigslist listings where people are like, oh, free refrigerator, throw it. It's like, ooh, is that the same one? Like, dude, I swear to God I found one time. I swear to God I found the exact refrigerator as my refrigerator that's missing the fruit and thing drawers on a Craigslist listing. Free, come and get it. And the location was, like, literally 5 blocks from my house. It was down by, like, the laundromat area, taqueria, behind the grocery store area. And I'm like, dude, I don't want that whole refrigerator. I'm going down there and I'm yanking them goddamn drawers out, dude. Like, I'll be right back. I ran down there. Already gone. It was already gone. Someone already swooped that thing up, dude. So pissed. And the reason I think that refrigerator is a really nice refrigerator, well, I know it's a nice refrigerator, because it came out of a house it was a pretty nice house, but all the appliances in the house were all from the same suite, the same brand, but they were all the version of the appliances that you put your cabinet faces on the appliance. And typically, the only appliances that allow you to put cabinet faces on them are super high-end shit, like the super nice stuff, because a regular person isn't going to be like, you know what I want to do? I want to buy a refrigerator, and then I want to buy the expensive part of a cabinet and put it on the front of my refrigerator so it looks like my other cabinets. That's what I want to do. Like, normal people don't do that because it's like, oh, you just have extra money to waste on making your shit look the same? Yeah. So, that's what my other refrigerator... I took the panels out. I don't give a shit what it looks like. But it's missing the fruit drawers. It's like, what good is that? And it's a side-by-side, so the fruit drawers are stacked. It's not like you could just throw your shit down there, it'll be fine. Like, just keep your whatever, your heads of lettuce down there. No, it's vertical stacks, like nothing would, it's like, I've thought about, like, dude, I could build something, I could rig something up, put a shelf. It's like, no, Nope, that ain't happening. That's not happening. Oh my god, whatever. Good times. Looks like I have pancakes for days now. So if you're in the area and you want a pancake, I got the $7 pancake. Got the $7 pancake special going. Whatever. Okay, so that's fun. My pancake has cooled significantly. I kind of forgot that I cooked that one. That's okay. It won't even melt my butter. Nothing says delicious fresh pancake like an ice cold pancake. Whatever. No syrup, in case you're watching. I'm going no syrup on this one because it's ice cold. I believe I'm getting close to the allotted time slot. So let's got a little pocket fuzz going there, it looks like. Straighten out the gray beard. Hey! Look at my cabinets, weirdo. Whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. I know what I need to do today. I need to clean my gutters. Could have heated the pancake in the toaster. I use the toaster oven to heat my pancakes back up. Typically. Today I need to probably clean gutters, but I don't want to because I hate climbing ladders, and I get to do that pretty much all day long, every day. And it's like, ooh, I get a day off. What about anybody off? Climb a bunch of ladders. But I need to clean ladders. I need to clean my chimney, especially. I probably am going to do that today because that has to get done. Like, if I don't clean my gutters, they just stay full and the water just spills over the edge, and it just is how it's been for, like, I don't know, forever. But if I don't clean my chimney, I might burn my chimney down in a chimney fire. So I gotta probably do that. Whatever. You know what I want to do? I want to sit in a chair and do nothing all day long. That's what I want to do. But like, what I need to do, I need to clean my house. I just realized the other day, I don't think I've dusted my house in like, maybe since before I hurt my arm. So like, there's about this much dust on every surface in my house, which is embarrassing, but like, it's true. Like my air fryer has dust on it, and that thing isn't that old. And I'm thinking, man, if I got dust in my air fryer, what's the rest of the house gonna be looking like? I need to do laundry. I got a load of laundry going right now. It's like when you start searching for clothes to wear because all your clothes are dirty. It's laundry time. You start wearing the clothes that don't fit. It's like, well, that doesn't fit, but I gotta put something on. Because, like, society, you know, society won't let you go outside with no clothes on. You gotta have clothes. Plus, like, God, it was cold the other day. Like, walked outside, like, Jesus, I'm gonna need like a winter cap. Where I keep those? Like, I gotta start gathering the winter clothes up because it's gonna be winter here in a second. Oh, good. Like sands through an hourglass. So are the days of our lives. Whatever. All right. Got my hour stream. Thanks for those that showed up. Thanks for those who commented in the comment section. It always makes me feel less like a crazy person. There's nothing like cooking pancakes and ranting about shit in your kitchen all by yourself. I mean, my dog's here. I don't really think she's listening. Whatever. She's bummed. No bacon today, no eggs. I did make her a nice plate of breakfast with, she got rice, tuna fish, bacon grease, mozzarella, and the rice I cooked this morning, so it was like fresh, warm, and then like put the bacon grease in there and melt it in. And actually, I probably could have eaten that for dinner. Like that's like a casserole. She got casserole for breakfast. So whatever. All right. do something important. Sorry if you... Yeah, I don't even know. Good luck with everything. Peace.